Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. Welcome to another episode of Steal This Build. Now today, I have more of a theory to share with you. And this is for support players because my build strategy is not to build for just myself alone. I like to build for the situation where my team can benefit from everything I'm doing. And honestly, I prefer that they benefit both actively and passively. So sometimes I want my team members to benefit from, basically some things that I'm probably not even worrying myself about. Example, my specialization, and like I showed you guys in one of my last build videos, I told you guys that I preferred the Survivalist specialization because the Survivalist tactical link basically says grants group members 10% bonus damage to targets with status effects. Now, this doesn't even mean I have to be the one to apply the status effect, but if the enemy NPC has a status effect on them, then definitely the whole team is going to be giving an additional 10% damage per group member. I also have the grenade here, which is an incendiary grenade, and so whenever I know that there's going to be a spawn or a rush of enemy NPCs, I can throw that down and perhaps an enemy NPC is going to catch on that fire, and depending on whatever kill they have or whatever status effect they're under or whatever the scenario, my own build with Eclipse Protocol is able to take that status effect and just basically spread it across multiple enemy NPCs, thereby giving everybody in the group more damage and so on and so forth. So today I want to show you guys one of the best theories that I think is going to work for my own support style of play. And I wanted to share with you guys because I want to see your own variation or your versions of this if you're a support player. If you're a DPS player, you're running in front of everybody, this build is most likely not going to be for you because that's not what I'm trying to design. I'm trying to make you, the DPS player, look much better, if you get what I mean. So the best exotic to me in this game, and the exotic that I've been pining for a long time since it was first revealed, is the Scorpio Exotic. I'm a shotgun guy. I enjoy shotguns in the division, and I also enjoy the fact that you can actually use multi-kill strategies with a shotgun that's an exotic that's within reach. So let me show you why this theory works with the Scorpio Exotic. It has a septic shock talent, which basically applies status effects to enemy NPCs. You guys already know this. If you have basically your stack, you're getting 1 for poison, 3 for disorient, 6 shock, and then the 7th is where the meat is for this build for me. Because by the time I get to the 7 stacks, the target basically takes an additional 20% damage from all sources, and the stacks no longer increase. This is where I really do want my enemy NPCs to be. Ideally, I want them to be in a position where they're taking all this extra damage from all sources. Basically, my teammates, or maybe my other status effect skills, or maybe even my own shotgun damage is basically raising all of the, nasty damage on these enemy NPCs. That is the goal of somebody playing this kind of style because it basically buffs the entire team. And I think this strategy will out DPS a team that's all running their own personal DPS. Unless they have something like this, I don't think a team of 4 people can reach their maximum potential, and that's exactly why I like to play like this. Now, also in my team, we also have a very good healer, one of the best healers in the game, basically Sir Fat Ninja DM. I called him Sir Fat Ninja DM because he's basically a knight. I mean, literally, when your health is about to go 0, boom, Fat Ninja has a heal ready for you. You don't even have to ask. He's always watching everybody's health. And so I prefer to run builds like this so I can amplify the damage of everyone in the team, including our healer, who's basically, running with very minimal DPS on the team. And so that's where the Scorpio Exotic comes into play. Now, another aspect of the theory is going to be using the Eclipse Protocol, which basically is a status effect gear set. And I'm trying to apply all of these status effects to enemy NPCs, increase your duration, but at the same time, I also want to make sure that at every turn, there's a status effect on every enemy NPC. So I've decided to go with the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece. Now, the reason I want the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece is because of the bleeding edge. Basically, the talent says shooting enemies within 15 meters applies bleed to the target. And the repair is basically from 3% to 48% of your armor. That's what happens because you're going to be getting a repair for every enemy NPC that's bleeding within the 15-meter range from you. Now, the repair strength is been buffed, and so this makes a Ridgeway very, very strong. I appreciate the agent that gave me this. I've not beaten the Summit hunters, but somebody just dropped this for me, so that's what YouTube RNG does. I appreciate it so much, and that's one of the things that I want to add into this theory. Now, I have a potential to add an extra 20% extra damage to my enemy NPCs that I mark from all sources, but in ideal situations, to get that 20%, you really have to light up this enemy NPC, and the possibility that you're going to be able to light them up and them continue taking damage from you is low. Other enemy NPCs are going to be shooting at you. They're going to make things difficult, but at least you do have kind of like the disorient that comes with using the Scorpio. So this is what you want to get. You want to basically disorient your opponent so that they are actually toned down a little bit, so you can apply those stacks on them and then move on, including the bleed as well. But at the end of the day, there is one guaranteed way to actually increase this damage from all sources on my enemy NPC, and that is by using the talent called Opportunistic. Now, when I used to run a lot of the sniper builds, I would take my sniper builds and actually change it, and rather than run a damage talent on my backpack, I would run Opportunistic, because I knew that once my marksman rifle would hit an enemy NPC, I would gain more of a benefit if that enemy NPC was taking damage from all sources. So basically, Opportunistic says enemies you hit with shotguns and marksman rifles amplifies the damage they take from by 10% from all sources. Now, here's the beauty of this. If you look at the other talents with the Scorpio, the extra damage is basically additional. It's increased. So it's a plus 20% mathematical increase in terms of the additional damage that they're taking. So take all the damage and add 20% to it. That's where you get it from, right? Now, if you also look at the Survivalist as well, if you look at the additional damage that that enemies under status effect are going to be getting, this is also pretty much an increase. It says group members get 10% bonus damage to targets with status effect. This is additive. But in the case of Opportunistic, it is actually multiplied, because it uses the language amplifies the damage they take by 10% from all sources. Hence, I have an incentive to actually use this weapon a lot, not just by saying I'm going to apply a status effect. No, I really want to hit enemy NPCs with it, because I know that my goals are actually going to be met, where every enemy NPC that I basically lay my eyes on is going to melt, whether I do the melting or whether my team does the melting. This is the framework behind my playstyle, and I really enjoy builds like this, because I don't have, or neither do I feel the pressure of having to be the person that's running and gunning in front of everybody. That's not my goal. I really don't care about that, about that. I really just want everybody on my team to actually be better. And so using 4-piece Eclipse Protocol, using the Ridgeway chest piece and Opportunistic on my backpack, please ignore the fact that that's an Overlord backpack. It was just a backpack that I just picked up out of nowhere. Ideally, I would use an Heraldi backpack, because now I have the extra marksman rifle damage if I really wanted to go that way. Or in the best possible scenario, you really do want to use what's the name of that talent? A Badger Tough backpack, because that will give you damage on your shotguns. Okay, so 1-piece Badger Tough is 10% shotgun damage, so if you really do want that damage, you can use that. But I don't have a good Badger Tough backpack just yet. I'm not really too keen on finding one, because they'll drop easily, in my opinion. So I'm not like freaking out that I can't get one. It's not really a big deal. But this theory, I think, is, in my opinion, solid for the support player who wants to run a shotgun, or in some cases who wants to maintain some distance from enemy NPCs while their teammates are able to do some really good work. Now, Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section about this theory. Do you think it's a viable theory? Do you have any builds that are similar, or builds that you've modified some things, or are you planning on trying this build out? I would love to know in the comment section, as we're having this conversation about the opportunistic and having the conversation about the Scorpio. And to be very honest, I'm still not aware of what the perfectly opportunistic talent would actually do to this build, because I think that rolls on a whole different piece in regard to backpacks or something. But I'll be looking at that and improving the theory, and I hope to come back with an update on how this build is working for me. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys a lot. Hopefully we'll see in another video. Peace out.